Good morning, coffee moaners.
Good morning, good morning.
On a very, very, very sad day. Well, of course, it was the news that broke in Australia yesterday was just catastrophic. And we're going to talk through how we came across the news, because, of course, it was through one of our followers. It was through Christopher Cundall, who lives incredibly close to the tragedy that happened on Bondi Beach yesterday. So obviously, we're going to be spending most of today's coffee moaning talking about that awful event, various aspects of how it unfolded. We have, trigger warning, we have got some clips that were uploaded and were posted on various social media platforms in the immediate aftermath as it was happening. We have gone through those clips to make sure there's nothing there that will be too disturbing, but trigger warning anyway, because you are seeing scenes of people in fear, frightened, and you're seeing you will see footage of an active shooter, and you will also be seeing footage of the guy who remarkably manhandled one of the shooter's guns off of him. So we're going to be talking about that. That is our focus today. We want to, and I think it's really important when you're talking about something like this, is that you talk about the facts of the situation, and then we talk about in a very different tone, we talk about the subsequent ways in which various leaders, groups and people are seeking to, blame
more division.
Blame certain sectors of society and kind of fan the flames away from themselves in some instances. So we're going to be talking about how Netanyahu has blamed the Australian Prime Minister for the attack. I mean, what a remarkable lead, what an unstatesmanlike thing to do. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk also about the man who has been hailed a hero. And at the end, we are also going to, I really want us to touch upon Rob Reiner, the director, who was tragically found stabbed to death with his wife, the director of Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, This Is Spinal Tap, tragically found dead in his apartment, in his home. Christopher Cundall's in the room. Morning,
Hi,
Mark and Nadia. Big hugs, lots of love to you all. Christopher Cundall, I hope you don't mind me saying, you explained this to me yesterday when you messaged me, lives incredibly close to the scene of this tragedy. And when you contacted me, whilst it was breaking on all of my news kind of things, I hadn't tapped into the news.
We were in bed, weren't we? When you
no, I was in the bathroom, and then Christopher, I saw your message come in, and I was just like, oh my God, it's as bad as we think it is. So what did you think when you first heard about it?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's this horrible thing, isn't it, that we hear shooting so many times. You sort of half listening. It's been a terrible shooting. Immediately assumed it was in America. Immediately assumed these are the first seconds. It's a school shooting. Another horror story there. And then you said, "Oh no, it's Bondi Beach," and then you showed me. It wasn't particularly gory, but it was so like a movie. Like people on the floor, people trying to resuscitate. It reminded me very much actually of the first, and I've spoken about this lots of times before, the very first live video I saw in Gaza, and I thought it was a fake video.
Right.
But then I saw it was live, and it was I got that same kind of horror yesterday. Well, the day before yesterday, when I saw the content, I was like, what? Just bodies scattered and people frantically trying to save people's lives. And it took a few minutes for me to actually take it in. Did you think of Bondi Beach? We just think of, I don't know, carefree surfers, just people just hanging out, people living the dream. That's what I think of Bondi Beach. I don't really know that much about it, but that's my image of it. So truly, truly shocking. And then, of course, after that, I just thought, who's done this? Where's this going to lead to? What next? How's this going to be? How's this going to be used to divide people again? When actually, I think most humans want to be brought together. They don't want to be divided. They don't want more hate, more violence. And I always think that these tragedies, if we had, as you said, real statesman-like leaders that spoke from the heart.
If they had one.
Yeah, and then could use these absolute tragedies, these horror stories, as a chance to preach, if you want, in a good way to bring people together, but that never seems to happen.
No, I mean, I think it's important to say, because we haven't said it yet, that this attack on Bondi Beach appears to have, pretty much focused on a Jewish celebration. So for Hanukkah. So most of the victims are Jewish. So this is part of, and this, firmly sits within that debate, sadly, around the increase of anti-Semitism, what causes the increase of anti-Semitism, and how when a rogue terrorist decides to shoot someone, whether they be a rogue terrorist with a gun on a bridge on the beach in Bondi Beach shooting Jewish civilians celebrating, or whether it be the IDF bombing, Arab families across the Gaza Strip, or killing and targeting children in the West Bank. How can we and why do we still, even in the coming out of this crisis, highlight one side more than another? Or if this were to have happened, and we've seen statistics that are so much worse than this every day, still coming out of places like Gaza, subsequent to the ceasefire, no one would pause. No one would pause. The attention this is getting is right. The attention and the empathy and the sympathy and the outrage and the horror and the disgust is right.
Is human.
The calling out of the anti-Semitism of the shooters is right. But why isn't calling out the Islamophobia, Arab hate, and genocidal actions of a nation state not given the same equivalence? And it is something that will be resonating for many people today who are humanitarians at heart. As Nadia just said, we are all seeking connection. We are not seeking difference. So we are going to step through the details of what happened. So this is an anti-Semitic attack. One can be forgiven for thinking anti-Semitism exists. The targeting of Jewish people exists, but so too does the targeting of Arabs, Muslims, Palestinians. Okay? So one just has to kind of just step back and pause, start with the human, and then let's move at a later date into what are the underlying causes of this. Because I can tell you one thing right now, there is no definitive scientific explainer that will be able to draw a distinction between what Israel's behavior in the recent genocide has done for increasing anti-Semitism, or how much radical Islam as just as a growing concept has developed anti-Semitism. You're not going to be able to kind of draw a distinction between one and the same thing.
And this is why so many Jews across the world are desperate for this to stop, for the genocide to stop, because it's fueling hate on both sides, isn't it? As Mark says, so wouldn't this be amazing if there was a sober moment where people just took a moment and thought about, is it working?
Yeah.
The way that we're running the world, is it working? I mean, unfortunately, Mark, I think they would say yes, because it's working for the individuals, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, look, this isn't to take us. So I'm just looking at the story that MeTube's just said regarding now we know it's ISIS. I don't think that's definitive as yet. I mean, I know a black flag was found allegedly in the boot of a car. Christopher Kundle, I know you were saying also that there were unexploded items in the area near the bridge. Christopher Kundle's in the room. Obviously, you were right there.
Hi, Christopher.
Hi, Christopher. Sending you and every one of every ethnic group in Australia all of our love, and I know the community does.
So shocking.
As soon as it happened, like what you said already, I thought immediately it's going to divide us further.
Yeah. Very
numb thinking about it.
Christopher.
So sorry.
God.
So
and after
sorry.
that terrible experience just a couple of years ago as well. And the thing is, guys, so just imagine this is like Brighton Beach.
Yeah.
This happened. This ricochets through the whole country, and yeah, my God. It's just so sad. It's just so sad.
Let's just go through some of the things we do know about.
Because over the days, we're going to find out more and more. So I think it's best now if we just stick with the facts that we have, and those facts could change at any point.
Okay, so what this is coming from The Guardian. This is what we knew so far this morning, that on Sunday, 6:47 p.m. local time, police and emergency services were called to Arch Apartments to Bondi Beach after reports of gunshots. Footage was then shared on social media showing two men gunmen firing continuously at a large group who'd gathered to celebrate Hanukkah. At least 16 people are dead, including one of the alleged shooters. It's thought and it's believed that the shooters were a father and son pairing. 42 people were taken to hospital after the attack. 2 police officers were among the injured. Police, they said they were treating the attack as an act of terrorism. The alleged gunman were a 50-year-old who was shot by police and died, and his 24-year-old son, who has suffered critical injuries but was taken to hospital. And then we move into the police have not named the alleged gunman, but the media have identified them as Naveed Akram and his father, Sajid Akram. So I just want to show you the first clip that I saw, which was this. And when I saw this clip, I couldn't believe it. Like Nadia says, it feels like it just felt unbelievable. This was obviously shot from a nearby building. This is the first I saw of it. 2 gunmen on a bridge, running towards the bridge, and really shooting, loading. Now,
oh my God.
Now, in some of the closer photos that you're going to see in a minute, you can see that the younger guy has literally a belt of shotgun cartridges just around him. I mean, he was loading free. Again, with all these things, with all these incidents, I'm always curious to know where has I think allegedly he was a bricklayer. And again, obviously he works with his hands, but he was a very competent marksman. Very, very competent marksman, incredibly adept at using a gun, which not quite the same could be said for his father, which you'll see in a minute. This next clip, so again, trigger warning, guys, there is shots ringing out. It reminds me almost, was it on a beach, the shooting that happened in Tasmania? Do you remember the film we saw of the shooter? Was that in Tasmania? And he walked out onto a beach and just shot at people?
Was it Tasmania?
I think it was Tasmania. ¿Qué
está pasando? Alicia, escucha, Alicia, ¿qué está pasando? Algo está pasando, pero no sé qué. Pero ¿dónde va la curva? Perro, ¿qué pasó? Sí, vámonos ya.
And I think the thing that resonates so much about a clip like that is we've all been on beaches, we've all done family holidays.
People are saying it was Tunisia. Yeah, it was Tunisia.
No. I'm talking about the film. There was a drama made about the serial killer in
I thought you meant that
Tasmania.
last shooting. When
No, the Australian. No, I'm talking
That's
about Tasmania. The last time gun
Ah.
controls were really re-examined in Australia was around the mass shooter in Tasmania. There was a film called Nitram, which was based on the shooter. The reason I mention that is because I know there's a lot of debate, Christopher, am I right, in Australia about gun control, and I know that Tasmanian massacre was a huge part in the history of bringing in increased gun control, and I think it had a strap at the end of it, of the film. It's a drama that said that gun ownership has just steadily got increased and increased and increased all the way.
Yes, yeah. Oh God,
do check it. It's very distressing.
Nitram.
Yeah. It spells Martin backwards because they vowed they would never say the shooter's name again. I think that was the
Nitram, passive aggressive.
Thank you, Port Arthur. Was it the Port Arthur attack? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant the last time we saw a shooting like that on the beach, and it was in Tunisia.
Right.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, years ago.
Somebody there saying that one of the people that was murdered was her dad's cousin.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Semaine.
Tunisian. It was my dad's cousin that were murdered in Tunisia. I thought Australia locked down their gun control super successfully after this first school shooting. How do these people? Well, no, it's drifted.
Yeah, I mean that we'll never know, do we? It seems if people want guns, yeah.
Well, Robert Marriott, interestingly, Tasmania was 1996. Strict gun laws were introduced, but at the end of the film, they do have a strap or a title they put up at the end saying how more and more people. It was just eroding over time, I think. So gun control has become a hot topic
Honestly, it's
again.
such a fantastic film, that.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you another clip now. Now it gets a bit more kind of challenging. This we do see there are on the edges of frame. You see people are being attended to on the beach. Or maybe we don't. Maybe this is the one where he absconds him. Oh yeah, no. This is the clip. This is the clip where what's the name of the chap?
Ahmed Al-Ahmed.
Ahmed Al-Ahmed. Oh yeah, Ahmed Al-Ahmed. Basically, he said, his words were, he said,
this is unbelievable. His cousin said this, didn't he? Said this.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said,
I'm going to die. Tell my family I saved people's lives.
Oh my God, don't make me want to cry.
So watch this moment. So this is Ahmed Al-Ahmed who just said that. And then he's the guy who runs in. And just look at what clearly goes through his mind as he's...
Can you imagine that sort of bravery?
Yeah.
No way. I couldn't have that bravery.
Watch this. That man in the white is the guy. That's Ahmed Al-Ahmed. Jumps on him.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Wrestles.
Actually gets the gun off him. But then, you know, this bit just makes me cry so much. Because then he beats the gun up against the tree with like such... That's like so the innocence of that.
Yes. Well,
that just breaks. I don't know why it broke my heart. You think it's all right just to put the gun there? Look.
Well, I think what happened.
He didn't want it. He didn't want to hold it.
Well, I think what happened at that point, he realised he was holding the gun, threatening the shooter easily. If a policeman could have shot him, thinking he was the gunman, so he places it down.
He puts it down like a child, going, "It wasn't me."
Yeah.
Thank God somebody was filming him, because he could have had his fingerprints on it. Anything. I mean, it's just.
But tragically, and I mean, we've heard that he has. Well, tragically, before we knew what had actually happened to him, then watched the shooter on the bridge sees that his father's had the gun manhandled from him and shoots at Ahmed Al-Ahmed. Watch this. So that's the shooter.
Le mec est hyper courageux. Oh.
Look up to the bridge. That's his son, just firing off rounds.
He moves like a soldier, doesn't he?
He really, he knows what he's doing. The minute the camera pans back to the left, and you see that, yes, you're right, Tanya Bartlett, the hero, if you like, does get shot. Oh, sorry, it's not in that clip, but yeah.
Yes, but he gets shot twice.
Yeah.
He is actually okay, thank God.
Yeah. Got shot twice in the arm, says Reese. They're now pretending the person who ran is a fake non-Arab called Edward Crabapple, who doesn't exist, trying to minimize Ahmed's contribution.
I mean, there's going to be so much of this going around, isn't there?
I mean, Netanyahu at first claimed he was Jewish. I mean, again, we're going to talk about that as a separate topic out of respect for everyone who's got caught up in this, and out of respect for anyone who's been killed by a murderous entity. We're going to discuss in a separate sort of moment just the speed with which Benjamin Netanyahu is always on the scene in every tragedy, whether it be the murder of Charlie Kirk, whether it be the massacre, whatever's going on, he's there, pointing the finger, fanning the flames, and seeking to always push the responsibility away from his demonic intent that has made the world an infinitely unsafer place. He's a disgusting human being. The images just...
Oh shit.
Isn't it? And then this final clip is you'll see
where they're running. Oh my God.
There are some people on that beach who have already been sick.
My God. And the thing is, all those poor people, as they're running, we know now it was just two gunmen. But you could, wherever you're running, you don't know. They could have been thinking, oh, there are 10 more there, or there.
Absolutely. And the thing about gunshots is you just don't know where they're coming from. You just, you know. Now, Sky News uploaded this footage, which I just found It's quite long, but watch the shooter and tell me this guy isn't highly trained. This is the father. This is the father before he was obviously manhandled.
Oh my
Look at
God.
these people walking so slowly.
That's the father, so it goes to reload.
Oh my God.
Reload it.
As he's walking back there.
Then he's got this.
Fireworks.
Oh,
Now
oh
watch
my
this.
God.
Watch this.
This is so brave, filming this.
That
Wow.
is a marksman. Goes down. That's the father after he's had the gun taken off him.
Oh my God. I hadn't seen
This
this.
is on them now.
Oh
And he
my
turns
God.
round when he sees. This is the moment he sees his father.
Oh my God. There's that
This is
mistake.
father reload.
Hey, stay there.
He's losing voices.
Stay. Okay, stay.
Go.
I don't know if it's a live weapon or not.
These people are unbelievably cool watching
Amazing
this.
they didn't look.
Oh my God. He turns and looks straight at him. Jesus, I hadn't seen that. Was that Sky?
Yeah, Sky News has
Bloody
got that
hell.
footage. They've confirmed that they had both been to a gun club in recent times, of which they are members. Zoe, I also heard, says Christopher Cundall, thank you, Chris. I also heard, says Zoe, they thought originally when they heard the shots it was fireworks or a car backfire.
Of course you would.
Of course you would.
Of course
yeah,
you would.
absolutely.
Imagine you're on Brighton Beach.
Yeah.
You're not going to think you're being shot, are you?
These people filming from nearby and not running.
I know.
BAB 30 trained agents. We have no way of knowing. I mean, Michi, you made a very, I thought, very tart but on point comment there. Netanyahu is always interested in terms of body count. Whenever the body count is high, and Netanyahu's first question will always be, is it a good body count? Okay, so
Reb 832. That's not just a few hours in a gun club.
no.
God.
No,
God,
I mean
that was so chilling.
So chilling.
Christopher, again, and to all your neighbours and to everyone. Oh my God, who'd be, and I suppose you're just compelled to watch, aren't you? But I would say don't.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
The Prime Minister has said about an hour ago the father and son were not part of a wider terrorist cell. Anthony Albanese says. Speaking to ABC TV News' 7:30 slot, the Prime Minister said the clear advice that intelligence services had given him was there was no evidence of collusion. There's no evidence that these people were part of a cell. They were clearly motivated by extremist ideology, and further detail, of course, will be released when the police go through the work. It's an ongoing investigation, an active investigation. Now, just on that, this is a really important parallel to draw with Manchester, the stabbing that happened here.
I was just thinking exactly the same.
No one would assume that every Jewish person should be tarred by the same brush as Netanyahu's terrorist army, the IDF. No one would say, no one has, no one does. No one would, any free-thinking, rational and humanitarian does not, that would be anti-Semitic to claim that all Jewish people support what Netanyahu has done in Gaza and what his government have done and what his army have done, and not only done, but relished and promoted and shared footage of and just got away with. By the same standards, if these guys are extremist, radical, ISIS, Islamic, whatever they are not representative
of the Muslim
community.
The millions and millions upon millions of Muslims around the world.
But if you are
that's what we're going to see being whipped up.
If you're an evil, demonic despot of a leader seeking to always fan the flames of responsibility away from you, then you will seize upon something like this to your ends.
I'm just dreading to see what Trump does, how Trump uses this.
And to that end, this is the headline that just absolutely, I just think this is beyond
This is
shocking.
unbelievable.
Benjamin Netanyahu blames Anthony Albanese for Bondi Beach terror attack as world leaders express horror, a little like he did with Starmer. He said that the Manchester synagogue stabbing happened because Starmer wanted to entertain the thought, the concept, the notional fucking symbolism of allowing a Palestinian state to exist. Isn't it astonishing how he's always there?
Always there.
He's always there.
Always him and Trump, because, you know, Trump wants to take over the world, doesn't he?
Well,
So
I've got a quote about that in a minute. He wants to take over Europe.
He wants Europe. He's saying now that people think he would be the best leader for Europe.
That's one of my funnies, because it's so funny, it's not funny. This is more detail of what Netanyahu said. I couldn't bear listening to him. Your government did nothing. This is him to Australia. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country.
God.
You took no action. You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I am forever hearing the accusation leveled at anyone who criticizes Benjamin Netanyahu of blood libel. That is a blood libel of the Australian Prime Minister, regardless of what we all think. The Australian Prime Minister is not responsible.
No.
It's a statement of fact. The only person who has made the lives of Jewish people infinitely more dangerous in the last 2 years has been the rabid genocidal intent of the Israeli government, which of course has radicalized more people who are out there. That's not to say it doesn't happen of its own free will, anti-Semitism. But Benjamin Netanyahu has put anti-Semitism in a microwave, put it on 3 minutes, and waited for it to go ping. And this is the consequence.
Has Albanese answered?
No,
this?
he's statesman-like. He's refused to answer it.
It's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Herzog, president, said in a video message, vile terrorists deliberately targeted innocent Jewish families celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. As a description of what happened, that is what's happened. That is what's happened, and it is vile. All violence is vile. The murder of all people is vile. And this post here, this carousel that Miss Anne Harriman, which I'm pleased you sent over this morning, this is something that Miss Anne shared. I hate to say this, but if you're going to put a price tag on people's lives, then you need to hear this. Every day, hundreds are killed in Sudan, hundreds in Palestine, hundreds in Congo. Migrants are kidnapped, disappeared and abused at the US border and inside detention centers. Most of them never makes it to your feed. No urgent statements, no black squares. No, this is not who we are. But when 12 people are killed in Sydney, suddenly everyone rushes to post, to condemn, to prove they're one of the good ones. And in the same breath, some of the loudest community leaders use that horror to push more anti-Palestinian, more anti-Arab fear. Here's the truth. If your humanity only switches on when the victims are useful to your image, that's not solidarity, that's branding. No amount of carefully worded posts will protect you from being called anti-Semitic the moment you name power, apartheid, or genocide. Their problem is not your tone, it's your refusal to stay silent. No one I know is happy about what happened in Sydney. We're grieving that too. What I'm angry about is a world that treats some deaths as global tragedies and others as background noise. Human life is not a PR opportunity. Either all of it matters or none of what you're posting really does.
Wow, back of the net.
Back of the net, absolutely. How does this leave everyone feeling? How does this leave everyone feeling? Do people, because there are the two aspects. There's the tragedies of the deaths, regardless, of who, faith, just tragic horror. And then there's I hate to say it, just the brazen opportunism of leaders,
which makes me sick to my stomach.
Absolutely sick. Let's share your thoughts. King Bridget. I live in a very small town. Only a few people here are pro-Palestine. I think you're in Australia, aren't you, Kim Bridget, who are pro-Palestinian? And you, as the only person in town today who wears a Let Gaza Live t-shirt, it was not safe to take my children out today.
And you know what? Has anyone seen the video of the older woman with a keffiyeh, Australian, Jewish, and she'd come to pay respects, and she just had a keffiyeh on. She wasn't doing anything, and and then the press were wanting to speak to her, so the police took her away.
No.
Yeah.
No.
She said it's my right to talk to the press. She's trying to do an interview. They took her away because she had the keffiyeh on.
Wow. Bondi Beach shout out father and son, or yes, use license. Bondi Beach hero gets $1 million in donations, as his last words, as we said earlier, were revealed. It's just tragically sad. And other acts of Islamophobic anti-Arab sentiment. The Mail was reporting today, pigheads placed on Muslim graves at cemetery in disturbing act of retribution following Bondi Beach terror attack. As Islamic leaders refuse to take shooter's
the Islamic
body.
leaders, the funeral parlours across have refused to take his body.
They do, because he's not representative of them.
You know, when we had all those terrible, you know, the London Bridge attacks and all that, and everywhere on the news, whether they were talking about children, whether they were talking about adults, they were said, when these tragedies happen, it's so important to talk about, but look how many people came to help. Look how think about all that. Think about the heroes because we need that as human beings, because whether you're a child or an adult, because it's just so overwhelming. And wouldn't it be incredible if leaders spoke like that as well? Obviously, they have to mark what's happened and say that it's all the things that it is, horrific, disgraceful, all those things, but also to highlight how good people came in and the power of that, because there are way more good people than bad people. I know I say it all the time. I know it pisses people off, but there are.
Jacqueline.
There are. It doesn't suit the leaders of the world for us to believe that. They want us to think that we are all, as human beings, we are all enemies of each other. We are not.
Jacqueline McGurran, this is the narrative I am desperately most depressed about. On GMB this morning, they were bringing up the pro-Palestine marches on Saturdays as making anti-Semitism worse. This is what you have to understand is you're being manipulated. This narrative.
Well, we'd have to check that they've actually said that.
And who said it? It might have been someone they invited on the show. But listen, that narrative, that idea, it's not new. That's the same narrative, unfortunately, that was spouted out by our Labour government regarding the Manchester attacks, regarding the banning of violent thugs from the Tel Aviv Maccabi football fans. You know, the attempt to conflate any single awful act against any Jewish person on the planet with the pro-Palestinian peace marches is fallacy of the greatest degree. It's fraudulent, it's propaganda. You're being won over. No, I'm not saying you are, but if you buy into that, which many people do,
come to a march.
You're being won over.
Come to a march. Come to a march. We've been to many of them, not all of them, because obviously we work on Saturdays, but I've never seen anything negative.
No.
Have you?
No,
not
at all.
And not all the hundreds of people that we know.
An enormous amount
and
of
the Jewish people that
outraged.
we talk to as we walk along. And I've interviewed some Jewish people actually on the web. I've never shown any of it because I always forget to get people's permission. But it's just a lie. That's what it is. It's a lie, as simple as that.
And just don't look. There's a very simple idea here. You can be anti-Trump. Lots of people are, but it doesn't mean you're anti-American.
No.
And you can be anti the Israeli government's policy on genocide in Gaza and anti any Israeli who supports that and anti anyone without it being a Jewish thing. You're just you're anti-nasty things.
It's not a Jewish thing.
Like we're anti this shooting.
Yeah.
Any human individual would be anti any violence towards anyone.
Anti the white supremacist who is Trump, but I don't think every American is a white supremacist.
But on that note, let's just hear what's come out of Trump's mouth this weekend.
He's so disgusting.
Nations are reporting that your president might as well be the leader of the European nations also. They listen to us and they respect us like they've never respected us before. So we're going to work very hard. We get along with them. We want to get along with as many nations as we can. We've been ripped off by a lot of them for a lot of years. And frankly,
you're disgusting.
So he wants to lead Europe now.
I hadn't seen the full speech where he just talked about why all the immigrants we get, why don't we get like the Swedish and the Norwegian and why do we get all the dirty, disgusting countries? I couldn't believe it, Mark.
Oh, when he talks about the Somalia.
It was Somalia, and he expands it out to anyone that isn't blonde.
He's a hideous, hideous individual. I really want to talk about this. We're a bit tight for time this morning, but I just want to talk about this awful tragedy. And we're going to talk, obviously, as more comes out and more political opportunism develops around this tragic shooting, which forgets the innocents who've been shot, and they become political pawns in the global kind of system to justify, legitimize, and excuse just that really kind of incidental annoyance of a genocide. Okay, that's what all this is about. That's what all of this, the dealing with this, a tragedy like this, is about. But the other story I really want to talk about this morning is Rob Reiner. I didn't realize you knew the story last night. This is tragic. This is tragic. A great, brilliant American filmmaker, Rob Reiner, directed films like When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride. He's done so many. This is Spinal Tap. he was an actor too, found stabbed with his wife in his home.
Stabbed to death.
Stabbed to death. I just couldn't quite wrap my head around this. Now, sources are suggesting that it could have been a family member. There's a lot of Misery. He directed Misery, which was one of those absolute fucking classics. Thank you, Reese. Misery. I mean, he was such a good filmmaker. Although lots of people who like films, I mean, he was a workman, like, you know, he just churned them out and did them back in the classic days of Hollywood. But all of his films, and he was multi-genre. He could just turn to comedy. For me, When Harry Met Sally is my defining romantic comedy. It's just funny. Found dead. I'm just going to play you what the LAPD lead investigator said last night when they found their bodies.
They determined that there were 2 deceased individuals inside of the residence. The Los Angeles Police Department is now conducting an investigation at this residence here on Chadbourne, and that investigation will continue over the coming days. We will not be releasing any information regarding who was found deceased in the residence, because that will be done by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office. At this time, the Los Angeles Police Department is not seeking anyone as a suspect or as a person of interest or in any other manner, and we will not be doing that until we conduct our investigation and we move forward. There are going to be many family members interviewed. I'm not going to confirm whether someone's being interviewed at this time or not. We're going to try and speak to every family member that we can to get to the facts of this investigation.
It's just tragic. It's just tragic. I'm just going to, for those of you who don't know, you might recognize him when you see some images of him. I'm just literally just scrambling this. These are the headlines. Family member. Oh, sorry, just bear with me. His dad was also the legend. Yeah, Carl Reiner directed The Jerk. I mean, his dad. I mean, Jesus. Family member is questioned by police in Rob Reiner murder investigation after director and his wife were found stabbed to death in London. That's Rob Reiner on the far left there. That's his wife alongside him. The rest of his family either side. This is his son that struggled allegedly with. It's all, you know what I mean. I'm not suggesting he isn't responsible, but it's always slightly disconcerting when whoever the member of the family is who struggled with addiction becomes. I mean, I'm not saying it might be him, rumor, but that's the rumor. Yeah. It's just like, oh my god,
because people assume.
Yeah, and these are the images taken over his home in
Gossip
LA.
Kills.
Gossip Kills, absolutely. He directed When Harry Met Sally, absolutely. Just tragic. He was, I think, 78. His wife was 68. He met her. She was a photographer, stills photographer on the set of When Harry Met Sally, and infamously, because she hated the guy, took Donald Trump's photograph that was on the front of Donald Trump's autobiography that he wrote. She forever regretted. She said, "I never thought this photo would always be responsible for taking the image of him."
Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah, tragically sad. Now we're just going to go over to we've got some funny clips, but I love this story that Nadia found. Do you want to?
Yeah. Do you want to show the picture?
I've taken the music away so you can just read it. So look at this. This is a slice of feminist history.
Catherine Switzer made history in 1967 when she became the first woman to officially run the Boston Marathon. At that time, women were widely believed to be too weak for long-distance running, and no woman had ever run the race without an official bib. Switzer registered using the name KV Switzer, so officials did not realize she was a woman until the race had already started. Around mile 4, the race manager, Jock Semple, spotted her and charged towards her, trying to physically remove her from the course. This bit I love. Her boyfriend, Tom Miller, who was a hammer thrower, pushed Semple away. Oh my God, this bit's going to make me cry. While her teammates surrounded her and protected her so she could keep running. That's what we want from men. That's what we want. And so she could keep running. This is true feminism between men and women. Switzer refused to stop and wait for this and finish the marathon in 4 hours, 20 fucking minutes.
And she still runs today.
This moment sparked a worldwide conversation about women in sports and helped open the door for female runners everywhere. In 1972, women were finally allowed to compete officially in the Boston Marathon. Wait for it. And 50 years later, Catherine returned to the same race, proudly wearing her original number 261.
Yay. Oh, my God. I just love that. I love like you say, the gaggle of her teammates just protecting her. on the run. I mean, that's
the
just
respect.
astonishing.
Well, I've got quite a few of these that I've saved because
Astonishing.
I've got some. I just love these.
Yeah. And I loved last night
historical
the history as well. The
stories.
history that you don't really hear of. Please listen to the rest of
Women.
history.
We don't hear enough about
well.
women.
Yeah,
we don't
women.
need to hear enough about women in history. Wait till you hear the one that I've got for tomorrow. Oh my God.
I've got a funny skit to play you. Given that we've come off a weekend where we also, if anyone hasn't seen it, I did my latest interview with Professor Avi Loeb regarding the interstellar object, which makes its closest pass to Earth on the 19th of December, very soon. But in the spirit of aliens, extraterrestrials and everything, these two just always crack me up. These two guys, two comedians online, Instagram, they come together every now and then as blue aliens just to comment on the lunacy of the ordinary concerns of humans.
Okay. Oh, I'm a human and I'll pay $100 for a picture of a wrinkly foot.
Oh, I'm a human and I believe in the moon.
Slow down. Okay. Oh, I'm a human and I'll go to a place that I hate for 8 hours a day so I can afford shelter over my head.
That's fine. I got another.
Okay.
Oh, I'm a human and I spend a majority of my money on parking tickets.
Why? Okay, I got it. Oh, I'm a human and I'm so worried about the future I can't live in the present.
Okay. I got one more. Oh, I'm a human and my sperm count is declining rapidly, yet I refuse to do anything about it.
That's a problem.
It's a serious issue.
It's obviously quite a boy thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I find them really funny. Shall we show you a little girl? Yeah.
I am very proud of myself and all of my other friends inside my class. And my class is really sweet, except one little boy. And I need to tell you.
Oh, let her tell us. I'm here to tell you.
Oh, I love her.
Let her tell us.
That reminds me of a little girl we've recently met, doesn't it?
Oh my God. And I'm here to tell you.
Oh, and the way the teacher stepped
Jesus
in.
Christ, what's she
Fucking
gonna
hell,
say?
name
That
and
was
shame.
very
Gossip
funny.
kills, remember?
Very
Gossip
funny.
kills. Okay.
What's that one?
Brilliant. No, it's an image of Rob Reiner saying.
Okay. Thank
All
you
right,
so
guys.
much, guys. Yeah. Wow.
Vlogmas will be carrying on. Other content will be carrying on. I will be giving you an update on Nanny Di. I'm seeing her again later today. So yeah, stay tuned, and we will try and keep the festive fun carrying on. Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye.